Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Gianna Marie, good evening. Pippa Dot, I love Scotland. Gemma, welcome everyone to tonight's trivia. I hope that you are all having as good a weekend as you can. I love Scotland says, I definitely will do. I'm thinking of doing some about which ways autism is positive and how I cope and which places I go to. Also, thank you for going on. I was thinking doing a video tomorrow. Well, I truly hope you do. I just subscribed to I Love Scotland. Let's see. I believe I Love Scotland has 3 videos on channel right now. Sorry for you lost your granny the 24th of August of 2024. Truly sorry about that. Oh, but I'm truly sorry about you losing your granny. I hope you do put out more content. I think everybody has a voice, and everyone should, on YouTube is a place for everyone to have their voice be heard. And what makes this, community and this site, better than any others is regardless of, who you are, you have the right to have your voice be heard. Broken Justice, good evening. And Carol, good evening, Carol. Welcome to tonight's trivia. And Sprinkled Donut, good evening, Sprinkled Donut. Hope I didn't miss anybody else while I was talking there. I'll scroll up here to make sure. Sal, good evening, Sal. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Sal. Cement Shoes, good evening, Cement Shoes. And Mindy, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. All the trivia questions tonight center around the disappearance of Summer Wells. Summer Wells, 5-year-old Summer Wells that disappeared without a trace. We're going to get into, there's very little that's been said by law enforcement, but what law enforcement has said, I will try to cover in tonight's trivia. But all the questions, 20 multiple choice questions, as always. If you're new here, that I give you the question and I give you 4 possible answers: A, B, C, or D. One of those 4 is the right answer. Rackart, good evening, Rackart. I could follow in the case almost right after. Rackart? Did I miss Rackart? Excuse me. Kitty Q. Good evening, Kitty Q. This is such a sad case. Breaks my heart. Poor little girl. Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you. It is a tragic case, but as long as we keep hope alive, have been children who have been gone much longer, who have been able to return home, years and years later, safe and sound. But we don't know what happened to Summer Wells. And that's the biggest question of all, is what really happened. So we're going to get into it tonight. Give it another 30 seconds here, and then we're going to get going. Left-handed RN, good evening, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Good evening. All right. Well, let's get this trivia going, ladies and gentlemen. Oop. I don't know why it skipped to number 3 here, but tonight is the 343rd episode of Trivia Night. Yes, there are 342 other trivia nights that are available for your watching. Well, that's not totally true. Okay, there are 287. The other ones have either been blocked by YouTube for inappropriate content, or I deleted them. But they're close to 300 episodes you could binge watch in all at once. Tonight's trivia is all on Summer Wells, and I am aware that the T is missing from the word tonight. I don't know where it went, but it was there. We'll probably see the T pop up somewhere else. So keep an eye out for the yellow T. This program documents actual crimes and offenses by criminals. Some of the content covered here may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Neither I nor the advertisers or sponsors associated with this content shall be held responsible for individuals under the age of 17 accessing this material. Additionally, we are not liable for comments or live chat messages, as they do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions. That is not because of the people who are here in the chat right now. It is because of people who may be commenting, who are on other venues. I stream to 4 different sites right now, and it's not meant for the people who are here in this group. Question number 1 is now on your screen. I'll get myself in my little window here. All right. What is the full name of the missing child in the Summer Wells case? Is it Summer Utah Wells? B, Summer Amber Dawn Bly? C, Summer Amber Bly Wells? Or D, Summer Moon Utah Wells? What is the name of the child that is missing in the Summer Wells case? Question number 1 of 20. I wish I could, Cement Shoes. I wish I could. I don't have a backup for that entire video, and I can't get it off of YouTube. I tried downloading it to put it on Patreon, or to just edit out the content that the YouTube had an issue with. It won't let me download it. And sadly, because of a computer issue where the hard drive, external hard drive went bad, we have no backup for it. We really wish we did. Short of shooting the entire thing over again and putting it all together. Yeah, we wanted to. Question number 1. The correct answer to question number 1 is D as in dog. Summer Moon Utah Wells is her full name. Summer Moon Utah Wells. Question number 2. Where did the child who went missing in the Summer Wells case go missing from? Was it A, Provo, Utah, B, Rogersville, Tennessee, C, Kansas City, Kansas, or D, Pineville, Oklahoma? Where did Summer Wells go missing from? Question number 2 of 20. I'm sure that everyone out there that's followed the Summer Wells case has a theory on the Summer Wells case, what may have happened to her, who may be responsible. I have my own theory, but I can't prove it. Can't prove it at all. Wish I could. I wish we had, a definite answer of what happened to her. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Question number 2. The correct answer is B as in boy. Rogersville, Tennessee is where Summer Wells disappeared. Last known location of Summer Wells was Rogersville, Tennessee. Question 3. Oh, good night. According to YouTube analytics, this is where the casual viewer leaves. If you noticed, there was 20 people here in the trivia night, and now there are 11. It's exactly, YouTube is spot on when it comes to, when people leave this thing. All right, question 3. On what date did Summer Wells vanish without a trace? Was it A, June 15th, 2021, B, July 4th, 2020, C, April 16th, 2022, or D, April 9th, 2018? You've done some bicycle riding up there in those hills, ride cart? I wouldn't. You're braver than me. A lot of things have happened in that area that I would never want to be part of. When did Summer Wells disappear? Question 3 of 20. On what date did she disappear? All right. Question 3. The correct answer is A as in apple. June 15th, 2021. Summer Wells was the last time that anyone can confirm her whereabouts was June 15th, 2021. Did you know from day one of the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells, the TBI, which is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, said Don and Candace have been extremely cooperative and helpful in the investigation. Yet, according to data, 78% of all news coverage has painted them as not being helpful or interfering. So ask yourself, what is real? If the TBI says that Don and Candace have been extremely cooperative and helpful, yet the news outlets and people reporting on the case have said that they haven't been, which one is real? The state investigators and their comment about them being extremely helpful, or those who are on the outside looking in and say that they haven't been? Question 4 of 20. How old was Summer Wells the day she disappeared without a trace? Was it A, 7 years old, B, 6 years old, D, 5 years old, or D, 4 years old? And thank you, Gemma, for being a channel member for all those months. I really appreciate it. How old was Summer Wells the day that she disappeared without a trace? Meep. Good evening. and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. I didn't know the answer to that either, Gemma. I thought it was someone who is significantly important in your life that you put them on as your profile picture with you. Now we both know. All right, question number 4. The correct answer is C as in cat. She was 5 years of age when she vanished without a trace. Question 5. What is the name of Summer Wells' grandmother who also lived on the family's property the day that she disappeared? Was it A, Candace Bly, B, Lori Ryan Vallow, C, Candace Hare, D, Lori Jenna Hugo Hare? What is the name of Summer's grandmother who also lived on the property the day that she disappeared? Welcome to Trivia Night. Who knows? Glad you could be here with us. Thank you for joining us tonight for Trivia Night, the 343rd Trivia Night. Every Sunday at the same time, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Every single Sunday, 343rd episode. What is the name of Summer Wells' grandmother who also lived on the property the day that she vanished? Question number 5. Grandis. It's funny, someone choose Grandis. Dun, 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 dun. Is this a picture of Summer Wells would look like today? Yes, it is. This is the picture that is on the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, an age progressed photo of what she would look like in 2025. You will only see 2 pictures. The picture that was taken shortly before her actual disappearance, and this photo of her as an age progressed photo that is on her profile on Missing and Exploited Children. All right, question number 5. The correct answer is C as in cat. Candace Hare is the grandmother who also lived on the family property the day that Summer Wells disappeared. C as in cat. Question 6. What did Summer Wells' father initially claim he believed happened to Summer Wells with absolutely no evidence or context? Was it A, she ran away, B, she was abducted, C, she was taken by aliens, or D, she was murdered? What did Summer Wells' father initially claim he believed happened to Summer Wells with absolutely no evidence or context? Question number 6 of 20. I will continue to look out for her. Thank you, Rackart. Question 6 of 20. What did Don Wells say? That is Summer's father. What did he initially claim happened to Summer Wells with absolutely no evidence or context? The correct answer to question 6 is B as in boy. He said in the initial TV interviews that she was abducted. with absolutely no information at all or context to actually pinpoint that she had been abducted by someone. She could have wandered off into the hills, fallen down into any of the abandoned mines or pits on, in the mountains. All of that is a possibility and still is to this day. But when the initial TV interview was given, with him and Candace, he said that he believed that she was abducted. Did you know? Was there ever a homeless man who was camping in the woods about 2 miles from the Wells home? That is an internet rumor that was passed around for months after Summer Wells disappeared. The correctness to that is no, it was a fabrication dreamed up by a YouTuber to spread rumors about it, based solely on garbage seen alongside of a country road. After the initial investigation in checking the family's property, they spread out their actual scope of investigation, checking side roads and other roads that led to the family's property and offshoots. And they did a side by side grid pattern search where they go in one direction and then they stop and then they all come back and then they reverse the direction and they go the other direction, a complete grid pattern. Well, they found in one of them there was a news camera that was watching this actual search being taken place, and it seen a bunch of, they showed garbage that was dumped alongside of a road. This isn't on a regular road. This is like a dirt gravel road, and they hypothesized with no actual evidence to it at all that a homeless person had been camping about approximately 2 miles from the Wells home. And then that internet rumor took off. It was actually addressed on a couple of different larger channels that there was no information that a homeless person was camping nearby, and that may be the person who may have taken her. But this one YouTuber initially ran with it, and then of course, since some one person said it, it has to be factual, right? So other people then ran with it, and it gathered steam, and some people did live streams and mentioned it, and other people made videos and mentioned it, but there is no fact about it. Someone probably dumped the trash from their car in this area, like, hey, I got a bunch of bags and garbage and stuff, and they threw it out of their car, is what it looks like. And then maybe wildlife or something else scattered it a little bit more. But there was no truth to a homeless person had been camping, within that 2 mile area when they, expanded their scope. Question 7 of 20. Who was the last known person or persons to see Summer Wells that day, the day that she disappeared? Who was the last person or persons to see her that day? Was it A, Don Wells, her father? B, her grandpa McGuffey Wells? C, Mom Candace and Grandma Candace? Or D, the church preacher Mr. McGuffey? Who was the last person to see Summer Wells the day that she disappeared? Question 7 of 20. We got a lot of people answering C. C seems to be popular. Question 7 of 20. The correct answer is, in fact, C. Mom and grandmother are the last two people known to have seen Summer Wells on the day that she disappeared. Mom and grandmother. Question 8. So get this straight. Summer's mother with a bad back was helping her mother, Candace, so they're both Candace and Candace, who has two bad knees plant flowers that day? Do you believe it? A, yes, I believe them. B, no, it's a lie. C, maybe it happened, but it's fishy. Or D, the mountain lion said it's true. Get this straight. Summer's mother with a bad back was helping her mother, Candace, who has two bad knees, plant flowers that day. Do you believe it? Question 8 of 20. Sorry, Reichardt. I don't think any of them are really happy trivia nights. I will definitely consider, trying to find a trivia subject that is happier. But yes, this is real life and real crimes, and it is depressing and sad. And I am sorry about that. Question 8 of 20. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Does anybody want to guess if the mountain lion said it's true, so it must be true? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, you never know about those pesky mountain lions. All right. For question 8, if you answered A, B, or C, consider it correct. I don't know the answer to it. I think it's fishy myself that, one with a bad back and another one with two bad knees would be out planting flowers. But that's their story. But if you believe them, great. If you don't, great. Or if you think maybe it happened, great. If you answered A, B, or C for this one, you are correct. Unfortunately, I did not find the mountain lion who said that it was, all, truthful. So I can't give you credit if you answered D. And I didn't see anybody answer D, even after trying to provoke you into answering D. No one did. So, and Reichardt D, Barry Morphew, and the mountain lion said it's true. Well, I mean, if I would have put Barry Morphew in there, I would have believed it because, Barry always tells the truth. You want to know my theory, Sprinkled Donut? I will get into that after this is over with. I will definitely tell everybody my theory of the entire thing. Question 9. Major mistakes were made the day Summer Wells vanished. What did the TBI set their main focus on first? Was it A, abduction by aliens, B, abduction by a stranger danger, someone who doesn't know the family of, taking her abduction, or C, search and rescue, or D, find out why Don Wells was drunk? Major mistakes were made the day that Summer Wells vanished. What did the TBI, that stands for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, what did they set their main focus on first? Question 9 of 20. Meep says the whole case is a shit show. There is definitely things that should have been done differently and things that should have been followed up on that never were until, well, I shouldn't say never were, but they weren't followed up for months afterwards. Information that they had that they never followed up on right away. That is a definite, and the TBI admitted that there were errors that were made that they shouldn't have made. But that's all in hindsight, isn't it? It's easy to look back on and say, well, we should have done this. You should have done it in the first place so you don't have to look back and say, hey, you know what? We should have done this. YouTube has kicked you out twice. I'm sorry, Gemma. It does happen. Depends upon if you get the pop up that says, "Do you want to continue watching?" Sometimes if you have the pop up blocker, it won't show you that, and it will kick you back out. And I am truly sorry about that. I wish I could change that. Question number 9. Major mistake for the day that Summer Wells vanished. What did the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, set as their main focus? First, the correct answer is C as in cat. Search and rescue. For the first 48 hours after Summer Wells was reported missing, the TBI did a search and rescue, an S&R investigation only, not following up on leads. Of course, they were also inundated with people with psychic leads and people who said that they saw it in other ways that they could see from a distance. Boy, did they get some kooky tips, but they had some viable tips that they never followed up on right away, and they admitted they didn't follow up on them until months later. But when the first 48 hours, it was nothing but a search and rescue operation that they had initiated instead of anything else. Search for her. Yes, please do that. But that's what they did. Question 10. The mystery Toyota Tacoma truck. A statewide search found how many Toyota trucks matching the description given to the media that might have been involved. Was it A, 22 trucks, B, 36 trucks, C, 362 trucks, or D, 9? In case you're not aware of this fact, a mysterious Toyota pickup truck had been allegedly been seen driving up the long entranceway that leads up to the Wells family home. It was a maroon or darker red in color, and it was one of the initial tips that was given out to the media to be on the lookout for the truck. But how many Toyota Tacoma trucks matched this in the Tennessee database for trucks? How many of them were there that matched in the state of Tennessee? You can sprinkle donut. You can use any means you want to come up with your answer. Phone a friend. Ask the lady at the checkout counter at the truck's lot. Loves cashier at the truck stop. Yell out the window. Ask your significant other on the couch. It doesn't matter. None of it is cheating. Phone a friend. It doesn't matter. But how many trucks, Tacoma pickup trucks that were dark burgundy in color, matched this supposed pickup truck that was seen near the Wells home on the day that Summer Wells disappeared? Enter P's with 144,000. Thank you. The 144,000 is an inside joke from the Book of Revelations when it comes to Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. They believed that they were the chosen ones to lead the others in the afterlife to the promise of the 144,000 for the second coming of Christ. Mountain lions, Yugos are also inside jokes based on those who have been here a long time watching these. So if you see those are also inside jokes. Good evening, Mel, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Question 10 of 20. How many mysterious Toyota Tacoma trucks matched that color and description in the database when it was searched? The correct answer to question 10 is B as in boy, 36. 36 Toyota Tacoma trucks with dark burgundy color or dark red in total color were, matching the description, had been registered and licensed in the state of Tennessee at the time that Summer Wells disappeared. Dark burgundy or red in color is the fifth most chosen color for Toyota Tacoma pickup trucks in the United States. Fifth. But oh, it's quite all right, Mel. You're more on time than the others who haven't arrived yet. But I'm glad you could be here with us. If you are new here, after the first 10 questions, we always take a break from the trivia questions. Now I'm going to show you and talk about a couple of people that are missing and endangered here in America. These are real people missing from around the United States. I am excited to share that I collaborate with several incredible organizations to help raise awareness for the missing and endangered individuals. These include the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which tirelessly works to locate missing kids and prevent exploitation, along with the Charlie Project, an invaluable database documenting missing person cases from around the United States. The FBI, which investigates critical cases involving missing persons, and NAMUS, the National Missing of Unidentified Person System, which provides tools and resources to solve missing and unidentified person cases, along with state and local law enforcement agencies in all states, including the District of Columbia. Starting in later 2025, I will be working with the DOE network as well to highlight a dozen missing cases. Together, we aim to shine a light on these cases, support the families impacted, and keep these stories alive in the hopes of bringing a resolution. I do this every single week. The first case that is of someone missing is Brooke Larison Allensworth, age 37, as of 2024. She was last seen positively on 7/11 of 2018. She disappeared from Oil Truck Tough, Arkansas. Weight is 175 to 185 pounds. She is 5'8". She has brown eyes. Scars are tattoos. She does have a blue, very distinct tattoo on the back of her neck. That's why it just says blue there on any scars or tattoos. And unfortunately, we do not have a photo of it. But her loved ones have noted in her missing persons report that she has a very distinctive tattoo on the back of her neck that is done in the color of blue only. Brooke was traveling in her 2007 Toyota Camry when she got a flat tire. She changed the spare tire, but it went flat as well. Her car was found the day after she vanished, so that'd be 7/12 of 2018. Tracks that were found in the dirt next to her car, where it was found the next day, showed that someone picked her up and gave her a ride, but she has never been seen or heard from since. She leaves behind 2 young children and a family that desperately wants to know what happened to Brooke. If you know anything about the disappearance of Brooke, you can call the tip line that is on the screen there in red, 870-793-8838, and you can remain anonymous if with the information that you may know about Brooke. The photo you see here enlarged on this one is the most recent photo before she actually disappeared. It was taken approximately 3 months earlier. Missing case number 2 is an active, ongoing case. This is active, meaning as in it happened just recently and we have not gotten closure for it. This is Sophia Frank. Take a good look at her face and imagine her with shorter hair than the long hair that she has in this photo, but still dark brown brunette. She disappeared February 2nd of this year from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. She is 5'9", 186 pounds. That is 100% accurate because she had taken a physical just a week prior to her actual disappearance. So we know she is 5'9", 186 pounds exactly, with brown eyes, colors, and she is 3 months pregnant at the time that she disappeared. She may have been taken by this piece of shit. His name is Gary Day, age 40. Keep an eye out in the following locations for her. Again, imagine her with shorter hair. Michigan, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Florida, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Again, if you know anything about her, you can reach out to your local law enforcement, police department, FBI, anyone in law enforcement. This is an ongoing active case again. Or you can leave a tip at 888-304-3936. If you know anything, if you've seen her, or if you've seen this piece of shit, Gary Day, age 40. Today's headline story does not mean forgotten tomorrow. Please help bring home Orrin and Orson West, the two boys who were murdered by their adoptive parents. They know that they killed them, and both of them have been sentenced, and are now in prison. But they refuse to tell authorities what they did with the bodies of Orrin and Orson West. The family desperately wants closure. Now that the individuals who are responsible for taking them from the rest of society have been punished, we need closure. They're just two people who have done things like this who have refused to tell authorities what they did with their victims. But we need to keep their eyes and their memories alive. You still have a couple of minutes of break to do whatever you need to do. We will be back in exactly 3 minutes and 3 seconds from now. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left of your break. So you may be wondering why would a perpetrator, two perpetrators like Jacqueline and West, why would they not tell authorities where Orrin and Orson West are? Because as soon as they tell authorities where the boys' remains are, they are 100% guilty and have zero chances of winning an appeal of their conviction. They're just two of the many out there who have committed crimes like this, who refuse to tell authorities what they did with their victims. It is an evil world out there, Meep. But remember, at the same time that there are evil people out there are millions of people out there that are good and have nothing but the best intentions, but they don't seek the limelight. They're not put on the front page of your local newspaper or starting off the evening news. When it comes to keeping the eyes on the news and everything, everyone wants to talk about how this person, hurt someone else. The death, the tragedy of it all that keeps people watching, keeps people reading. But again, there are millions of people out there doing good who don't seek the limelight. They don't seek the attention. Mel says, I've never been able to wrap my head around people's need to take children's lives. I hope to God that I never am able to, Mel. That would probably be if I finally came to an understanding how people can hurt children and how they can hurt other people that are vulnerable in society. I think that would probably be my last day doing this. The day that I finally understand why they do it. I don't want to know. I mean, but at the same time, I want to know. And we all want to know. We all want to be able to say, look, this is why this person did it, and so we can warn others, to avoid those pitfalls, those traps, or those individuals. I Love Scotland wants to know, do they still have the death penalty anymore and injections? It depends on the actual state in the United States. Some states have a moratorium on the death penalty and capital punishment as a whole, while others actively use it. The great state of Texas just executed an individual the other day, 3 days ago, in Texas. They did it again. The federal government here in the United States definitely has the death penalty. When Donald J. Trump was elected president the first time around, he removed the federal moratorium on not using the death penalty. But we definitely have it now because they executed, I think, 14 before his term the first time was over with. Then Biden didn't go through with any, but now Trump is back in office, and he said he wants to expedite the use of the death penalty. Oh, I hate Casey Anthony. Sorry, Gianna Marie, but I hate that lady. I try not to hate anyone. All right, I'm giving everybody another half a minute here, another 40 seconds, and then we're going to get back to this. I got kind of lost there. Too many baby killers hide behind excuses like mental illness. Mental illness, drug addiction are common ones. All right, let's 3, 2, 1. Without further delay, let's get back to our normal programming. Question 11 is now on your screen. Some people have zero shame and will interject themselves into active investigations just for the clout and views. What YouTube channel did this in the disappearance of Summer Wells? Was it A, Bullhorn Betty, B, Armchair Idiot, C, The Interview Room, or D, Monster Mash Crime? Question 11 of 20. Some people have zero shame and will interject themselves into active investigations just for the clout and the views. What YouTube channel did this in the disappearance of Summer Wells? Excuse me. Zero shame. Question number 11 of 20. What's Bullhorn Betty? All of these options that are on your screen are real YouTube channels in the true crime genre or niche area. All of them are. These are YouTube channels. But which one of them interjected themselves in the middle of the active investigation? You only recognize. That's a good thing, Mel. That's a good thing. If you can only recognize one out of the four, that's a good thing. I recognize all four. Kitty Q, you're not sure? You haven't heard of these other names? Well, they're all real. Meep, you don't know Monster Mash? Well, they're real. Monster Mash, they do. So, what best way to put it? They put together 60 seconds on one crime, and then the next 60 seconds. So it's the total video is like 9 minutes, but it's 60-second little intervals. So a whole bunch of like maybe short videos put together, but it's mashed up. Hence the name Monster Mash. All right. The correct answer to question 11 of 20 is actually C as in cat. The interview room. The interview room interjected themselves into the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells. The TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, actually had to step in and get them to, back off on the actual investigation because they were interfering, or they may have put out information. They wanted to know what they were going to say, what may have been said in the actual interview itself, in this case, because they didn't want certain information being released by anyone, that they may have talked to or put on their channel. But C as in cat. Question 12 of 20. What was Don Wells eventually arrested and sentenced to jail for? Was it A, murder, B, tampering with a corpse, B, being a fool on national TV, or D, DUI? Question 12 of 20. What was Don Wells eventually arrested and sentenced to jail for? Don Wells is Summer Wells' father. What was Don arrested for? I'll give you credit if you don't know, just guess C. Just go ahead and guess C, because he has made some ridiculously stupid, interviews, on TV. But being an actual fool on national TV, he's definitely done that. But he wasn't arrested for it. So I'll give you credit if you just answer C. The correct answer to question 12 is D as in dog. But again, if you answered C, that Don Wells made a complete ass of himself on national television, I'll give you credit for it, because he has multiple times. Question 13 of 20. According to the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, where have more lies about the family vilifying them been spread more than any other? Was it A, TikTok, B, YouTube, C, Facebook, or D, OnlyFans? According to the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, where have more lies about the family vilifying them been spread more than any other? Driving a Yugo. Being a bloody fool, says Mel. Where have more lies about the family been spread, vilifying them than any other place? Good evening, Sarah. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Glad you could be here with us tonight. We are answering questions about the disappearance of Summer Wells. We are currently on question 13 of 20. According to the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, where have more lies about the family vilifying them been spread more than any other place? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy on YouTube. YouTube, B as in boy. Did you know in the United States of America, more than 800,000 children are reported missing each year, and another 500,000 go missing without being reported? This means that a child goes missing every 40 seconds. Every 40 seconds. So we have been doing this for almost an hour now. Think of how many children have disappeared in that time frame every 40 seconds. Of the 800,000 children that are reported missing each year, almost 90% of them are found. Of the 500,000 children that go missing that are never reported, a vast majority of them are of children of migrants or illegal aliens who live in the United States and are afraid to talk to the police. But they guessed that, at guesstimate 500,000 every year. Yes. Question number 14 of 20. What areas of the Wells home has been the subject of many, many false tips and subjects of Chris McDonald speculation of crime scene? Was it A, the camper next to the basement door, B, the main living room, C, the family pool, or D, the unfinished basement? Question number 14 of 20. What area of the Wells home has been the subject of many, many false tips and the subject of Chris McDonald's speculation of a crime scene? Ooh, we got CJT Quee. Excuse me. I'm just going to go with CJ. Welcome, CJ, and welcome to tonight's trivia. We are currently on question number 14 of Summer Wells' disappearance, answering questions about trivia questions about what happened in this case, keeping a spotlight on Summer Wells' case, making sure that people do not forget her. Question number 14 of 20. What part of the home has been part of many, many false tips and the speculation that it is a crime scene? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is D as in dog, the basement. Chris went on to a live stream and speculated that Summer Wells may have been killed or something awful happened to her in the basement of the home. And when an unfinished basement, there are two rooms that are only partially sheetrocked, but it's a complete basement of a home. But when it comes to false tips, there is no actual number on how many false tips were called in, but because of this, but it's believed it's probably in the thousands. Because after it gained traction that was where, what an area of the home that they should be looking at, people started going, full tilt on the Wells. Why don't you confess? You did something to her in that basement. What was it? What did you do? Who did it? Things like that. But we don't know exactly how many tips, were called in, by people like, hey man, you might check that basement. stuff like that. So the basement, unfinished basement is the correct answer to question number 14 of 20. Question number 15. What reason did Don Wells give for the removal of his other children from the family home in Tennessee? Was it A, threats against him and Candace, B, legal troubles, C, his drinking problem, or D, Candace smoking meth with mountain lions and Yugos down by the river? What reason did Don Wells give for the removal of his other children from the family home in Tennessee? Question number 15 of 20. Meep says A, supposedly. Supposedly. Question number 15 of 20. All right. Question number 15. The correct answer is A, as in apple. Threats against him and Candace. I don't believe it. You shouldn't believe it either. I'm sure that there were threats against Don and Candace in this situation. I would almost guarantee that the internet and how people were riled up about this case when it first came down, and they probably got quite a bit of threats against them both. But why did the Child Protective Agency have to come in and remove the half brothers of Summer Wells? I don't think it had to do with just threats against Don and Candace. I think there is definitely something else more there, but they don't want to talk about it. But Child Protective Services came in and removed Summer Wells's half brothers. Question number 16. What has Candace, the mother, been arrested for and served time in jail for in the past? Was it A, drugs? It's almost always drugs. B, DUI. C, theft. Or D, domestic violence against Don. Question number 16 of 20. What has Candace, the mother, been arrested for and served time in jail for in the past? Good evening, Joe. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Glad you could be here with us. Don and you think Sprinkle Donut says Don and Candace should never have been parents? Yeah, I will agree with that to a certain extent. There's a lot of people out there that never should have been parents, and when it comes to Don and Candace, yeah, they shouldn't. But Don has been prolific, let's just say that, when it comes to having children. D, and for being part of the cornbread mafia. Question number 16 of 20. I would say all the above, and she is banned from Walmart. You could make these answers funny. All right, the correct answer to question number 16 is D as in dog. Domestic violence against Don. There have been multiple instances before Summer Wells disappeared where law enforcement were dispatched to the Wells home for arguments and physical violence, domestic violence. And on one such occasion, when they showed up at the home, Don Wells's nose was bleeding. So they arrested Candace for assault and battery, domestic violence against Don. And she was arrested, sentenced, and convicted and sentenced on the charge of domestic violence. There have been multiple occasions that law enforcement had to show up there. The sheriff's department. Angel Girl, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Next one. Did you know the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the OJJPD, estimates that a child under the age of 13 taken by a non-custodial parent is 74% more likely to be physically and sexually abused within 4 hours of being taken. That scares the living crap out of anyone who has children. By non-custodial parent, that is anyone who may have been a parent, a step parent, and doesn't have any rights to that child, who takes that child, or it could be somebody who is just, the old stranger danger. But within 4 hours, 74% are physically or sexually abused by that non-custodial parent. Let that sink in. If you're a parent. Yeah. Question 17 of 20. What tip was first called in the day Summer vanished that most people don't believe was followed up on as much as it should have been? Was it A, the stranger who camped in the woods? B, the lady Summer admired at church? C, the child predator that lived in town? Or D, Candace's swimming story? Question number 17 of 20. What tip was called in the day that Summer vanished that most people don't believe was followed up on as much as it should have been? Kitty Q's going with D? Question mark? I don't know. Pippa Dot, Gianna Marie, Sal, Meep, and Sarah are all going with D. Oh, Sprinkle Donut joining the group with D as well. Joe and Mel are both going with D as well. Looks like D, 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 and CJ with D, and Angel with D as well. And the drawer full of mattress tags. Funny, Inner Peas, funny. Right, Cart? D with googly eyes, questioning eyes. Pauline, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. Is going with D, and Chloe and Waldo are going with D as well. Question number 17, the correct answer is D, as in dog. Yes. Candace, the mother, story about them going swimming, or the swimming story. A lot of people do not believe that a sufficient answer and explanation has been given about that. That when an online poll was put on Crime Network, I think it was. Sorry if I'm wrong about the actual site itself. When asked, their viewers were asked that question, what did they believe was not followed up on the most? And it was D as in dog, Candace's story about the going swimming. Question number 18. What county in Tennessee did Candace Bly and Don Wells reside in when Summer Wells vanished without a trace? What county? Was it A, Buckner County, B, Chippewa County, C, Hawkins County, or D, Morphew County? What county in Tennessee did Candace Bly and Don Wells reside in when Summer Wells vanished without a trace? Joe Tall Chief, sometimes that's all you can do. Use deductive like camp, I don't think it's that one, or just all right guess. We're all here just to have fun anyways. No one's any better at this than others. Some of us may know a few more tips, or things, or information than others do, but it's all for fun. No one is here to prove that they are better than anyone else on any one of these trivia nights. The van down by the river, says Inner Peas. Question number 18. Red Skies at Night. Beautiful name. Says C as well. And welcome to tonight's trivia, Red Skies Night. The correct answer to question number 18 is C as in cat. Hawkins County is where they lived, what county they lived in at the time that Summer Wells disappeared. All right, quickly, just a self, promotion here for, mugs for this channel, 411 Now. I have mugs for sale. You can click on the link and buy and help support this channel. You don't have to, it's optional, but I think they're pretty cool mugs myself. I have a couple of them. Question number 19 of 20. What is the standing reward as of 2025 for information leading to information in return of Summer Wells? What is the standing reward? Is it A, $10,000, B, $75,000, C, $1 million, or D, $50? What is the standing reward for information leading to the return of Summer Wells? No one ever suspected that people would really be living in a van down by the river. There are people who do live in that van down by the river, but I think we had a 0. Somebody answered 0. No reward at all. Angel says 0. D, $50. Me, B, Red Skies at Night. What is the standing reward? Question number 19 of 20. All right, the answer to question number 19 of 20 is B as in boy, $75,000 reward. It has been put up by local businesses and churches. The total reward for information leading to the safe return of Summer Wells. It is still standing to this day. They did not take down the reward. Originally, it started off at $10,000, then went to $25,000, and then to $70,000, and then a local parishioner, a church preacher or whatever, not parishioner, but preacher, put up another $5,000, so making it $75,000 as of the turn of the year 2025. Question number 20 of 20. What was the reaction of Don Wells that him and Candace were abusive to Summer and to the boys, meaning her half brothers? Was it A, he was shocked? B, he denied it and said that they were loving? C, never heard of the allegations? Or D, he blamed Candace and her only? Question number 20 of 20. What was the reaction of Don Wells that him and Candace were abusive to Summer Wells and the boys? What was it that came out? I missed that part, Interpeas. What came out when you worked at an amusement park? When they wanted posters, rewards? I missed that part. I'd have to scroll back up. Question 20 of 20. My ex-wife and I used to use them when we were in amusement parks. They were. Sarah says, all the above sounds like Don. Yeah, right? Mel says, Don was shocked and took another drink. Regardless of what, if we ever get conclusion to this case, Don Wells wasn't there when Summer Wells disappeared, but he has an alibi. But anyways, Don Wells has definitely got a drinking problem, and I truly hope the man gets help. I really do, for his sake, and for his children, his sons. He does have 3 boys. I hope for their sake he does get help with his drinking. He definitely needs help. But when Don Wells was asked with about the allegation that him and Candace were abusive to the boys, he said B as in boy. He denied that they ever were abusive to Summer Wells or to the boys. He said that they were loving parents and they wanted nothing but the best for their children. But he was like shocked. Oh my God, I can't believe anybody would ever say that we were abusive to him. And he said that they were loving. Did you know? Ranked in order from most to least for reasons why children go missing. The number 1 reason is family abduction. Number 1 on the list. Either a parent, a ex-parent, someone, a family abduction, a grandmother, an uncle, someone who is actually a family member is the number 1 reason why children go missing. Number 2 on the list is stranger abduction. Someone who takes your child who does not know you or the child but convinces the child to go with them. A stranger abduction. Number 3 on the list is getting lost, stranded, or injured. Something, they fall into a hole, a mine shaft, or whatever it might have been, an old well, whatever it might be. They get lost and they get stranded and injured, is why a child may go missing. Number 4 is run away or being thrown away. I wish that last part of that was something that was not even something that was even an option. But there are people out there in this world who have thrown away their own children. Not literally pick them up. Well, there probably are, but literally pick them up and throw them in the trash. But there are people who just decide, you're worthless to me. I don't want you anymore. And they just tell them to get the hell out, or if they're old enough to walk out themselves, or they abandon them somewhere else, either at a supermarket or library or at a grandparent's house or whatever. They just don't want them anymore. They throw them away. They don't care about them anymore. And the last reason are benign reasons, such as misunderstandings of where the child is supposed to go, who's picking the child up. But these are the reasons, the top reasons why a child has gone missing from between 1990 and 2020. Family abduction. Your child is more likely to be abducted by a family member than they are by a stranger. We may not, this conclusion, we may not have the answers to what happened to Summer Wells. However, society must keep the faith that she will be returned home safe someday. Either it be kidnapped, abducted, there have been success with children being returned much longer than Summer has been gone. If her family is at fault, we can only pray that the justice system is able to hold them responsible. How did you do on tonight's trivia? This is completely optional. Some people like to keep score of how many they got correct. Again, we are only playing for fun and entertainment reasons only. Education. Keep, Summer Wells' memory alive and keep people looking for her. Keep the pressure on authorities to solve the case and not forget her, because she's here today doesn't mean that she's gone tomorrow and she's not worth finding. I could give you countless ones of cases where 5, 10 years down the road, children have been returned. There was a case of, recently in California where a boy who was abducted when he was 7 years old was returned back to his home at the age of 52. He was gone from the age of 7 to the age of 52. He didn't even know that he was missing. He never did. He just thought that he moved to another state with his mother. But completely optional. So this week's poll question, this is your sneak peek. Every week on Monday mornings before 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I post a question on the YouTube community page, and asking a question to the world at large. This is a sneak peek to that poll question. You do not have to answer it now. You can answer it tomorrow on the community page and leave a comment underneath it if you want. But this week's question is, should all violent criminals be forced to surrender their guns until the case has been resolved plus 1 year? A, yes. B, no. C, maybe. Or D, no opinion. I like donuts. Do you? But this is a poll. Every week I post these to the community tab. Again, you don't have to answer it now. It's completely optional. Thank you again to everyone who's been here tonight playing along. I appreciate it. Scored an F. Well, I don't have F as an option, but okay. Again, we're only here for fun and entertainment and knowledge. Fun, entertainment, and knowledge. The more we know, the better we're off. The truth will set you free. But in the research to doing this, I came across a lot of, let's just say, dubious research that was done on the part of some people who create content for YouTube and Facebook and for other platforms, especially for true crime blogs. I don't know where they got that information from, other than I can only speculate that they made it up. Now, for those who wonder, what my opinion is on the disappearance of Summer Wells. I am torn between one of two things that possibly happened to her. One, Candace, the mother, did something to discipline her that caused her untimely demise. Because Candace, as we know, and we learned tonight, has had a violent history with Don. And by all accounts, according to other people who have spoken out and information where we do have evidence, she has had a temper over the years. So that is option A. I think possibly have happened. And then with the help of her mother, who didn't want to see her, her daughter go to jail for what she did, she helped her, do something to get rid of Summer. That's option A. Option B is the infatuation that Summer Wells had with the lady at her church, who she believed to be more sophisticated, dressed nicer, and had it was kind of like a role model. Maybe there was someone else at the church besides that one particular lady that Summer Wells looked up to, who may have had access to a pickup truck and saw Summer wandering around that day, pulled up and got Summer to go with her. And Summer is alive and well, living at her home where she is homeschooling the child instead of her going to away to school where she would definitely be seen. But those are the two options of what I think are the more likelihood of what happened to Summer Wells. Can I prove either one of them? No, I cannot. I have no evidence other than speculation to, and a little bit of tidbits here and there that point to either one of the two. Do I believe that Don had anything to do with it? No. He's got an alibi. He was drinking with, surprise, he was drinking with other people that day, and he has an alibi for around the time that she disappeared. So what he has nothing, to do with it. Were her brothers involved? No. I believe that they probably know something though, and I think that's why CPS probably came in and removed them before they could be coached to say something different. But again, I have no proof of that at all. That is just my belief from the outside looking in, based on what little I know that it can be proven, and my mind and how it works, and the crime itself. So you think the parents definitely have guilty knowledge? The church lady would probably give Summer a better life, says Sarah. I would believe so. She's definitely more better off financially than the Wells family. But I don't know. If something like that ever happened to me, say my son, uh, somebody took my son, I'd turn over every leaf on earth, and just hopefully, I would be able to control my anger and rage before it got me into trouble. You my son is autistic and speech delayed. He doesn't have the ability to tell you, even today at the age of 8, if somebody ever hurt him. He doesn't he can't express it verbally. He can write it out for you. He can tell you in sign language, but he wouldn't be able to verbally communicate it to someone else. And if something ever happened to my son, uh, Papa Bear would come out in a heartbeat. That's all I can say. And I think everybody is the same way about their parent, about their children. Don't you dare trespass on my child. David Dotson is sus to me as well. He disappeared awfully quick. Do Don and Candace do anything to help find her? They did search. They were part of the search groups. That day that Summer disappeared, they didn't want them, being involved. To maybe they did search with dogs. So I'm going to split that way, and they didn't want their scent being something that would throw off the dogs. And they wanted to sit and talk with them and everything else while the search was going on. The initial day that Summer disappeared. So, but they did take part in searches later on. Somebody takes my kid, I'm going to prison. I don't know why they thought they should. Same here, Kiddiku. That's why I say, I hope that to God I'm able to keep a calm head long enough to it's the parent's worst nightmare that your kid disappears. It's a completely different world today than it was from when I was a child. I mean, I know when I was a child, it was you go outside, you play, and you come back when the street lights came on, and nobody knew where we were, and nor did anybody care, really, because we just we're off in our own little world. I could be 2 or 3 miles away from home. I mean, as a little kid, I took my little sister with me. If I was going someplace, go to a friend's house, I took her with me. And you just let her wander around in the neighborhood, as a little kid. The Wells didn't advocate plea for Summer. They didn't do a lot of things. But you are right. They didn't exactly bite my lip there. They didn't do what I think they should have done. How about that? That's the best way to put it. But no law enforcement could tell you that you're not going to search for your child. I'd turn over every goddamn leaf on earth if I had to and take the earth and shake it until I found him. Something ever happened to my son. 9 or 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yep. But like I said, it's a completely different world now. I mean, I'm not by no means a helicopter parent now for my son, nor am I to the extreme that some of my son's his friends' parents have gone to. I haven't started to, geo tracking, air tagging, my son yet. Quite a few parents have, children who are in my son's class at school. They put air tags in their backpacks or have sewn them into clothing that they wear, coats or stuff like that, to be able to track them where they are at all times. Um, I understand, especially if you have a child that's nonverbal, and a lot of kids in my son's class at school are on the spectrum as well, and it's hard, and it especially if they're not able to talk, they can't tell you where the hell they live or where they're supposed to be if they were to wander away. And I understand why some of the parents do it. I just wouldn't do it for my son. I don't think that I need to get to that point. Even my 25-year-old, I'm going to ape shit if she's missing. I have no fear that something like that is ever going to happen to my daughter, who is also 25. My 25-year-old daughter is, let's just say she can defend herself. And I've thought about asking her if, if she wants to do cage fighting because she can kick some ass. But you never know. I mean, even the toughest and the most headstrong and most alert individuals have been taken advantage of and been murdered by serial killers. I mean, I don't see Debbie Harry, the lead singer of Blondie. I don't think she's dumb, and she's a feisty woman, even for as tall as she is. I mean, but she got into the car with Ted Bundy, and damn near became one of his victims. And it, then and now, she's always been, a very intelligent woman. So if Ted Bundy could lure her into his car, you never know. Cross my fingers, knock on wood, that nothing ever happens. My gut feeling is she's telling me the parents did this to her. I would have to be hospitalized and sedated if something like that happened to me. Yeah, she escaped Ted. She got in the car with Teddy. In case you guys don't know the story, she got into the car with Teddy and was driving away, and she got a creepy vibe from him right away. After she got in the car, she reached over to the Volkswagen's handle, and it wouldn't open the door. And so the window was down just enough for her to get her arm out, and she knew how to unlatch the door from the outside to open it. And then when he turned a corner, she rolled out of the car. Otherwise, Debbie Harriet would have become just another one of Ted Bundy's victims. Here today, gone tomorrow. But she got it, that she trusted her gut feeling to get the hell out of there. There's always someone tougher, smarter, stronger. Excellent point, Reichardt. There always is. Joe says her child went missing. She wouldn't be able to rest. I don't think I could either. How could you? And that's why my heart goes out to parents, and anybody who's ever had a loved one or someone, go missing. I mean, my brother disappeared in 1976. At least that's the last time we had any trace of him. And now my brother disappeared as an adult, so don't get that wrong. He wasn't a child; he was an adult. My father basically kicked him out of the family because he said he joined a cult. Now, a cult to my father was any religion that was not Roman Catholic or Catholic. He saw, Baptist as a cult, people who followed the Baptist religion or, Seventh-day Adventist or whatever it might have been. He saw them all as a cult. So my father said he didn't want to talk to him anymore, and he really didn't. But for a while after he disappeared, he wrote letters to my mother, which I have all of them, and keep in touch. But then the letters just stopped, and he didn't join like the Bhagwan Rajneesh or anything like that in Oregon, or some religious cult that believed in Satanism or anything like that. He joined a group of people that were, I don't know, kind of like hippies, a commune, I guess, a group of like-minded people. But he didn't live off the grid or anything like that. He lived a normal life, at least then, for the couple of years afterwards. He had a job. He kept in contact, but then he just poof, never heard from him again. How did my father sleep after that? For the first couple of years, I don't know. I mean, I was just a young kid, so I can't say exactly how it affected my father. But my father only lived another 4 years after my brother disappeared. Was it part of the reason why he died? Maybe. But my father died of complications of diabetes. So my friend's husband disappeared, but they owe the IRS. So your friend's husband disappeared, but they owe the Internal Revenue Service. Had nightmares for a long time after his friend went missing. The Wells left the state. Summer is missing. Why would they leave the state? From what I understood, and have read about Don and Candace, they did and try everything they could to get away from the public eye. But that could be it, at least part of it, to get away from it all. I mean, I don't think Summer, wherever Summer is today, hopefully she's alive and well. I don't think she's just going to wander, back up the hill, up the road to where the house is. I just don't see that happening. But who knows? All right. We can all keep that, as long as we keep that hope alive, that she's safe someplace. I fear that she's gone and that we'll never get closure. We'll never know what happened to her, like so many other tragic cases out there. Kitty Q says, I only had one brother. If he went missing, I'd still be distraught and missing him, but he didn't, so I can't really say. I'm sorry, Redcart. It's the world we live in. I used to have that. Oh, yeah, it's over there. I'll say make sure I'm not tangled up in cords. All right. This is a blue suitcase for makeup. And inside here are where all those letters are. All the important documents of my mother's life and me and my sisters growing up. Want to see a picture of me when I was, see how old was I in this picture? I got several of them in here. Yeah, school photos. All right. Try not to laugh too hard. But I was, probably maybe 12 years old in this photo. I'm about to show you a photo of me when I was 12. Okay? Now remember, this is the 1970s, early 80s, right in there somewhere. Okay? Don't laugh. That's me. I got pictures of all my siblings too. But you name it, letters from my brother. They're all in here. These are all the important papers that my mother wanted to keep over the years. Newspaper articles about it. Report cards. But this is what the letters look like. I mean, this is only double-sided in cursive. But this was a makeup case that my mother kept all the letters in, school score, correspondence, pictures, report cards, ribbons, you won at the county fair. It's all in there. It's like my life inside of a little makeup case. And so are my sisters, That was a good picture. Yeah, they are. My mother was, growing up, a prolific photographer. She took a lot of pictures of a lot of things besides her children. Sunsets, sunrises, trees, birds, other wildlife. She took a lot of pictures of them, and she documented time and day and size and everything about them. But she never took a single photo of any of her kids after my father died, because we didn't really exist after that. We're here. We're real. We are not AI. No, no. That's life, though. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this evening's trivia night. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It's all I ask from anyone is to, like, share, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you like the content. If you're watching this after the live stream, leave a comment down below. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down and tell me what you would do to change, it to be more enjoyable, so you would like it. Yes, I do put a lot of effort and a lot of work into each and every one of these, but I'm open to suggestions. And when it comes to suggestions for trivia night, I have a little black book here of suggestions that I'm still working through. Please do not throw any more out right now. I'm still working through, about 6 of them right now, trying, for the next trivia nights. So I'm at least 2 months, worth of suggestions going forward. But as we get closer and I get some of those done, I will start taking more suggestions for trivia night subjects. And Reichart, I will definitely try to find a subject matter that is not as depressing or as sad for next week. Now, don't know what it will be, but it very well could be a completely different subject matter other than missing children. So, with that said, everyone, thank you very much for being here tonight for Trivia Night. I really do appreciate each and every one of you being here. And I truly hope that, you have a terrific week ahead. Wherever you are, stay safe out there. Weather outside is being completely crazy all over the United States and around the world, for that matter. So stay safe, stay warm, and I will see you next time. Bye. Love Scott over at True Crime Loser. True Crime Loser. Why, Schmieda, why?